So before I get into this love letter, I want to thank you all. Thank you for caring for your communities. Thank you for showing us through the arts and using creativity as a powerful tool for transformation. Thank you for how you responded to this pandemic. You dealt with impossible challenges and you came up with brilliant solutions that were centered in love. You inspire us every day. And thank you for the deep questions you've been asking in order to create paths forward in this new world and in the community arts education field. Over the past 100 days, we have been having some important conversations that are centered in love that we have for you all. Although a lot of our programming centers on learning, the truth is that we're always learning from you. During the groundwork, Healing Within Community Arts Education series that we had this past fall, so much of what was shared by advisors, presenters, and participants resonated deeply with us. And so I want to share with you a few lessons that we've learned along the way. As organizations that are centered in community, we can't gloss over the deep, messy internal work that's required to put liberatory values into practice. It takes time and energy to unlearn oppressive behaviors and practices that all of us have been taught and to retrain ourselves to follow new paths. Rest, dreaming, and healing are an important part of our everyday lives. And in order for us to build a just world, we must recognize them as such. And so as we sit with these lessons, we recognize that in order to support you all in the ways that you need, that is consistent and aligned to our values and our racial equity principles, Guild staff and board need to slow down and realign ourselves. The tradition of science fiction and speculative fiction tells us that it takes time and space to imagine and dream of a world before you can build it. And that work in itself is radical and profound. We're dreaming up a way of getting where we want to go by entering what we're calling a portal of transformation. In this spirit, we'll be holding off on producing the Guild's long-established programs from July 2022 through the completion of our strategic planning process, which begins in 2023. It's become clear that a constant program cycle doesn't allow us the space that we need to move with intentionality, to make sure we're fully embodying our values and supporting you all with love. This time in the portal will allow us to focus on our relationships, learn, reflect, process, and ultimately build community-centered, human-centered practices that are grounded in liberation. It is thrilling to have this space to connect with our creativity and our community. And so we acknowledge that this is a privilege to be able to claim this time. And we believe that this expansiveness should be available to each and every one of us. We want to thank organizations and individuals like Allied Media Projects, Pretrial Justice Institute, Stronghold, RISE, the NAP Ministry, and Choir Archer, along with many others who showed us that stepping out of the grind for a while to focus on our own transformation is not just possible, but it is necessary. As Prentice Hemphill said, we each exist in a constellation of love. So I want to thank you all for being a part of ours and for being a force of growth and change in the world. And so what does that mean, Quanice? What does all of that mean? So I have a slide that just basically breaks it down for you. So we are going into a portal, just like I said, and the portal is basically an incubation period of love, intentionality, and community building, which will begin June 24th. This portal will be broken down in 3 phases. The first phase, we'll be participating in retreats and deep planning with the staff and the board, and that's happening in summer 2022. The second phase is about meaningful conversations. So at the ground level of this work, this portal is love, right? And we want to make sure that we're incorporating all of your feedback, all of your input, all of your values into the work that we're doing. So we're going to have meaningful conversations with you all in fall 2022. And then phase 3 is actually going to use all of this information to create our strategic plan from beginning in fall 22 and hopefully publishing our strategic plan in spring 2023. And so together we are building a field that we want and we deserve. You will be informing every single aspect of our work. And we'll be hosting a series of purposeful conversations in person and virtually through the portal. We will also be given a lot of community updates throughout the portal. And so you'll know every single thing that we're doing because we want to make sure we're as transparent and accountable to you all.